We get a new champion and it's Zyra, the Rise of the Thorns, and she'll be released on the 22nd of December. So be ready to play a new champion in a support role, mid lane, probably jungle, and maybe even play it as an APC with a Senna. So with the best news out of the way, let's make it even better. The all-random ultra-rapid fire mode, also called ARF, is coming back. And that is going to happen on the 8th of December. And now let's get right at the champion changes. Ashe is getting a buff and it's for her first ability, Ranger's Focus. The attack speed is getting increased by 5% and the flurry damage is getting a 5% scaling increase. So in case you didn't know, Ashe was already dealing quite a lot of damage and usually just suffered from her immobility. She was just too easy to get ran down, and with this she does even more damage, so if you're stuck in a 1v1 with this champion, you might be looking at a very daunting task if you want to actually kill her. The next champion is getting a slight slap onto the wrist and it's for Fizz. The passive Seastone Trident is getting a nerf to jungle monsters. It only deals 90% damage compared to 105% damage. This is supposed to make his early jungle kill a little bit slower and just overall giving less farming power. But the biggest issue with this champion is that the moment you get more AP, you start one-tapping everything, be it jungle camps or champions. So this change is only a slight nerf to his early game and doesn't really matter too much in the long run. What is going to matter though is the next upcoming buff to Gwen. Obviously she just received the skin, so she must be buffed, right? And here we have a change to her first ability, Snip Snip. They're increasing the base damage of each individual snip by 2, and increasing the scaling by 1%. So it doesn't really look too much, but if you think about this and just look at the numbers of this spell, you should get very much concerned. And this isn't all there is to it. They're also buffing the last snip by increasing its base damage and its scaling. So I'm curious to see how Gwen Jungle actually plays with the new buffs. Because if she's able to power farm more consistently, she might be a very powerful pick from the jungle. The next champion that's receiving some buffs is Master Yi, and here his third ability, Voodoo Style, is getting some more damage. Its flat damage is getting increased, and the bonus attack damage scaling is getting increased. A rather interesting buff I'm seeing is coming for Nautilus, which I don't really understand. They're believing that this champion is too squishy and therefore needs some extra added tankiness. Therefore, Nautilus' second ability is getting a lower cooldown and a better max health scaling. I personally am quite curious as to why Riot thinks that Nautilus is too squishy. I just really would love to see the numbers they're having on this one, because I really can't say that Nautilus is too squishy. But maybe the people just take wrong runes, or like you never really know what's happening there. The next change is coming to Sivir, and they believe she also needs to get nerfed. Sivir's second ability, Ricochet, is getting a bounce damage nerf from 24% to 22%, and this consequently is a 2% nerf across all levels. Not only this, but also Ultimate is getting a slight nerf. The cooldown reduction for basic abilities is getting a 10% decrease. The initial bonus movement speed is also getting a 5% decrease, and the bonus movement speed upon getting 8 stacks of Unyielding Valor is also getting a 5% decrease. But you don't really have to worry about these changes. This will not kill Sivir, this will not severely impact Sivir. It will just make her a little bit less overbearing during teamfight scenarios where she just runs you down with her teammates right next to her. Hey you! Yes, you. Can you see this? So many people are not yet subbed. Be honest, what's stopping you from subbing? Let me know in the comments below. Now let's talk about Sona. In our November news, we shared some thoughts from John, our product lead regarding Sona's rework, and as promised, here are the details. Base stats. Health per level decreased from 105 to 96. Passive ability, Power Chord, removed. After casting a basic ability for 3 times, Sona's empowered attack will gain a bonus effect from the last ability she casts. New. After casting basic abilities for 3 times, Sona's next attack will be empowered, dealing 20 to 160 plus 15% ability power bonus magic damage, stunning the target for 0.5 seconds. Casting basic abilities grants a non-stacking buff aura for 3 seconds. Also new is going to be the fact that her basic abilities cooldown are going to be reduced by her level times 2%. First ability, Hymn of Valor. The mana costs are getting increased, the damage is also getting increased. The bonus damage effect of the aura is getting lowered though. Her second ability, Aria of Perseverance. The health regeneration is getting lowered in scaling and in flat healing. The bonus shielding is also getting lowered in flat shielding and scaling. For a third ability, there are no changes in these nodes, but for Ultimate Crescendo, these are the following changes. Your ultimate is no longer granting you basic cooldown haste. You also no longer have your old ultimate. Casting a new ultimate is basically like casting an Aurelion Soul first ability. Contrary to that ability, the moment it touches you, it will stun you. And it will remain on the ground and just pulse for some period of time. These pulses also deal damage and slow. You also gain a new passive effect for your ultimate ability. Your aura will be reinforced for 20 seconds after casting the ability, providing a higher buff than usual. And here are basically my thoughts about this change. They're going to turn Sona from a passive support to a very proactive support. They're putting power away from a healing and regeneration ability and adding more power to a first ability. However, you can still itemize Harmonic Echoes, and you're probably going to run the double echo build, which I showcase in the Karma video very soon. So you'll just max your first ability first now to get the most damage possible, and just keep 1 point in your second ability until you level it up afterwards, because I don't see any changes to your third ability, so I can't really make a statement about that one. But your first ability will be maxed first nowadays, and then most likely, unless there are changes to the third ability, you'll max the second a bit later. So yeah, I really want to play this changed Sona, and well, I will be doing so. And the next change is coming to Varus for his Piercing Arrow. Right, is buffing the minimum damage of the spell and the maximum damage at the same time, as well as increasing the AD scaling on both. And if that wasn't bad enough already, they're also buffing his second ability, Blighted Quiver. Here they just add 1% extra maximum health damage to the detonation. So in case you got killed by an Ascension of a Varus before, I really hope you don't meet another one, because Armor Pen boots with an Ascent Reaver will really hurt you. And the next change is also opening up a lethality angle and is coming for Xin Zhao. He is getting more base stats. The attack damage per level goes up from 3.6 to 4.5 per level. His second ability, Wind Becomes Lightning, is also getting a buff, but only in the scaling department, but on both instances of the spell. His third ability, Audacious Charge, is also getting an increase in the attack speed bonus. So what's gonna happen with this champion? You best believe Sudden Impact, Armor Pen boots, and you must Ghostblade, Trinity Force, and you will absolutely explode people. And now we come to a very scary buff, and this is Yone. Yone's base stats are getting an increase. The base armor goes up from 35 to 40. The first ability's damage to monsters is limited to 80% now compared to 100%, and his second ability, Spirit Cleave, is getting a flat damage increase from 15 across all levels, and the base shield is getting increased by 20 and 15% scaling. So whenever you're facing Yone now, he's going to be so much more tanky, because the second ability's shielding scales off the base shield, and he's getting so much on this. Not only this, the base armor will also help him out during the laning phase unbelievably much. And in case if you're wondering if this champion is still playable in a jungle role, yes, he very much is. Because only dealing 80% of your first ability's damage to monsters isn't as much as you might believe it is. And due to the nature of how Yone can play and what abilities he has and what opportunities he can actually look into, this will probably be way better for him than how he is right now. Oh yeah, and at the same time, a very core item for Yone is also getting a very hefty buff, Solari Charge Blade. The price is going down from 3,100 gold to 3,000 gold, and the Sunburst damage is getting a hefty increase. The minimum damage is going up from 30 to 50, and the maximum damage from 80 to 92. Now, keep in mind that this champion crits all the time, so an increase in any type of damage is quite a lot of extra damage. Here are the skins for this patch. We have Dragonslayer Kayle, Coven Evelynn, Coven Zyra, and Prestige Heartsteel Yone, literally draining your wallet to the moon. And that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, make sure to boost the algorithm with the comment and the like, and we see each other for another Rift Guides Wild Rift video very soon.